This is a football show now. The Wolves striker Raul Jimenez has revealed it's a miracle he's still alive after fracturing his skull against Arsenal in November last year. Jimenez was rushed to hospital after clashing heads with David Luiz, had emergency surgery for a major traumatic brain injury. In his first major interview since, Jimenez describes his memories of the day.
I remember we arrived to the stadium. I left my things in the dressing room. I went out to see the pitch with my teammates, with my friends, and then we returned to the dressing room. I remember I get into the dressing room, but then it's like lights off. I like it to see what happened, because for me it's like it never happened, because I don't remember. It was, and it is really a miracle to me to be here with you.
Well, not only has Jimenez made a full recovery, he's also back playing football. The 30-year-old made his first competitive start since that injury in Wolves' defeat by Leicester on Saturday.
I never thought about finish my career or stop playing. It was a chance of that, but I was always confident that I was gonna return.
Well, Jimenez wore a head guard during the match against Leicester, but says he isn't scared of heading the ball. For the time being, though, he continues to limit how much he does of it in training.
If I have to header, I'm gonna header. But the thing is, the point, if we are doing crossings or something like that, okay, I can do some of them with the head, but we still want to prevent and do more balls for me to finish with my legs.
Did you have any concerns when you first went up for that first header? Did you have them then, and do you have any moving forward, or do you have full confidence with the head guard?
No, I feel confidence. I think if it was for me, I won't use it. I'll play as normal, but the doctors told me that it's protection to prevent something that in this moment could be more dangerous for me than to any other player.
Well, Jimenez was supported by the brain injury charity Headway after suffering his injury, and has since donated a pair of his boots to them to auction off as a show of appreciation for their help and advice. The charity say his recovery is remarkable.
I certainly was surprised at the remarkable recovery he's made, but I'm delighted too. And you know, every brain injury is unique, and there are no two set pathways to recovery. But it does just go to show that there can be life after brain injury. But you know, equally we know that Ryan Mason is a patron of Headway, and we know that he wasn't fortunate enough to be able to make such a return to play. But even then, as I say, other people have more of that lifelong effects of their brain injury, whether it's through their cognition, through their speech, through their mobility, through their personality. So yeah, to see Raul get back on the pitch, it is a pleasant surprise, and of course we wish him the very best.
Yeah, Danny, it is a remarkable story, and I guess, Danny, a frightening reminder of what can potentially happen any time a player takes to the field of play. But I guess as well, it must be so tough coming back from an injury like that.
It must be incredibly difficult. Most players, you go onto the pitch and you accept that it might be an injury or a leg injury or something of that nature, that sort of part and parcel of the game. At some point, you expect that that's going to happen. But a severe head injury like that affects your brain, that inevitably could cost you your life, it's not really something you prepare yourself for as a footballer. It's not something that crosses your mind or you expect. It's absolutely amazing that he's managed to come back from this. I think, it gives everybody hope that has, some kind of serious head injury. Of course, he's in the minority, and we know that. And I'm sure he knows that he's very, very fortunate to be able to come back and not just be okay from this, but actually to be able to play football again. That in itself is is almost a miracle. But it does give everybody hope. And obviously, you know, as we just heard there, every single brain injury, especially, is different. You know, it affects individuals differently in different ways throughout their life. But to see him back playing, I think, you know, we all need hope from time to time, don't we?
Eddie, you've obviously worked with a lot of youngsters over the times. How much do you think players these days are more concerned about head injuries?
I don't think players go onto a pitch thinking about it. I think it's not as apparent in the game as it was before. The flight of the ball is a little bit different. It's lighter. It moves in the air a lot different than it did back in my day and further beyond. So the game is a lot quicker and played on the floor a lot more now. So I don't think heading is as much a part of the game as it used to be, but obviously it's always a concern. Heading the ball or the ball, blocking the ball with your head. Sometimes defenders getting in the way of the ball. Goalkeepers when they come flying out on the ball to block a shot. These kind of things are apparent, and obviously the clashing of heads is also a worry. But it's part of the game that is very low, but at the same time, it's something that you don't want to happen to anyone. You know, obviously I've worked with Petr Cech, and he had the same problem and had to wear protective gear for himself as well throughout the rest of his career, and he was very lucky as well, but didn't really affect him afterwards. I think you've got to be strong mentally as well to be able to go back into the sport and go into competitive sport after such an injury.
And Danny, obviously we got a glimpse of Stan going through his paces at Everton training. He wasn't the mannequin. We got to point that out. But as a father, is there a fear for you? You know, should parents be worried?
I don't think they should. I think, you know, we all accept that, you know, whatever you do, playing sport, you know, whether it be, you know, BMX or skateboard or football or rugby, there is an inherent risk in anything that we do. Obviously, those type of sports, especially, you know, when there's heavy contact or a risk of falling or skiing or whatever it might be, there is always some kind of risk. I think you just hope that, you know, first and foremost, yeah, you look at every situation and just think, right, okay, you don't want your child to be injured. You know, I've been through. Stan had a serious knee injury, has come through that. You know, was almost out for a season. So you do think of that. And as a player coming back from injury, there's always that moment where you're thinking about the injury. Is this going to happen? And all of a sudden, one day you do something naturally or automatic, and then you forget about it. And that's the stage you have to get to. But as Eddie says, you never go onto the pitch thinking about these things. You know, Formula One car drivers will never get into a car thinking this could happen. You just go out and perform. You know the risks, but they're very, very much in the back of your mind. And I think, you know, in this day and age, sport, the way it's governed, the way it's looked after, the medical side of it is better than it's ever been. You know, you can't take risk out of life. You know, simple as that. It'd be very, very dull, you know, if we did that. There is risk in every single thing that we do. And I think, you know, we all accept those risks. If you don't accept those risks, then, you know, go and do something else.